Good morning, students. Welcome to the chemistry class again. We are studying here the 11th science chapter number 10, that is the state of matter, gaseous state and liquid state. Now first we are studying the gaseous state. There is the very important theory about the gases, and the name of that theory is the kinetic molecular theory of gases. As the name is kinetic, there is always the gas molecules are in a constant random motion because they are independent to each other. There is no any attractive forces between them. They remains independent, and due to that this theory is there. Now what are the assumptions of this kinetic molecular theory of gases? The first assumptions or first, that is the feature of this theory, is that gases consist of very tiny particles. That particles may be molecules or atoms. So all the gases contains very tiny particles. They may be molecules or atoms. Then in which gases there are atoms? Inert gases, because inert gases do not form the molecules. Their outermost shell is already completed, so their atoms are nothing but their particles. So here given the gases consist of a very tiny particle, molecule or atoms, and inert gases generally consist of the atoms. Now see again the another, that is the assumption of this theory is that gas molecules always remains far apart from each other. They remains independent from each other. So the actual volume of the gas particles, is negligible as compared to the volume of the container in which the gas is placed. Suppose there is the container of 1 liter, and if we fill the gas in that 1 liter container, the volume of that gas looks like the 1 liter, but when we compress the gas particles, its volume decreases. The actual volume of the gas particle is very negligible as compared to the volume of the container. It acquires all the space of the container. The gas molecules acquire all the space of the container, but if the pressure is applied on the gas molecules, they comes close to each other, and the actual volume of the particles is very negligible as compared to the volume of the container in which the gas is placed. So the second assumption is that gas molecule remains far apart from each other. So the actual volume of the gas particle is negligible as compared to the volume of the container in which the gas particles or gas is filled. Now that is why gases are highly compressible. Only gases are compressible. Solids and liquids are not compressible, but gases are compressible because they are far apart from each other, and after applying the pressure they get compressed, comes to each other. So their actual volume of the gas particle is very negligible as compared to the volume of the container in which the gas is placed. Now third assumption is what? The attractive forces between the gas molecules are negligible. As they are independent, they are far apart from each other. So the attractive forces are very negligible in them at ordinary temperature and pressure. But if we lower down the temperature and if we increase the pressure, they comes to each other and their attractive forces somewhat increases, and after applying pressure, high pressure and gas may be converted into liquid or solid also. And therefore, at ordinary temperature and pressure, the gas molecules have very negligible attractive forces. Now, the fourth assumption is that gas molecules are in constant random motion and they can move in all possible direction randomly, but in a straight line. They move in all possible direction but always in a straight line. Remember that as that of the Brownian movement. Now, Brownian movement is the straight movement of the particles. In biology, the Brownian movements of the botanist Brownian see by taking the pollen grains in a petri dish in which there is the water, and he observed that pollen grains movement. That pollen grain movement is not zigzag, but it is always in a straight line and in any possible direction randomly. That is the random motion, constant random motion is present between the gas molecules, but they are always go from one direction to another direction or any direction, but in a straight line. So, gas molecules are in a constant random motion and they move in all possible direction in a straight line. When they move from one place to another place, what happens? They collide with each other. They collide with each other and also they collide with the walls of the container in which that gas is filled. During the random motion or continuous random motion, they collide with each other as well as they collide with the wall of the container. Due to that, what happened? There is pressure exerted on the wall of the container by the gas molecules. So, next assumption is pressure of the gas is due to the collision of the particle with the wall of the container. Why the gas have the pressure? Because there is collision of the gas molecules on the walls of the container, and due to that collisions there is the pressure of that gas. Now, what is the next assumption? The collision of the gas molecules are perfectly elastic in nature. What do you mean by perfectly elastic in nature? As that of the elastic balls. When the two elastic balls collide with each other, they goes again as far apart as possible from each other. That means their collisions, similar collisions are there between the gas molecule. So, the collision of the gas molecules are perfectly elastic in nature. And due to that, what happened? Their kinetic energy remains unchanged. Their kinetic energy do not stop, or they do not, after collision they get stopped. But they again goes to the same kinetic energy far apart from each other. Therefore, the collision of the gas molecules are perfectly elastic in nature, which means that the total energy of the gas particle remains unchanged or remains constant. Now, this is the next, that is the sixth assumption, that the kinetic energy of the gas particles remains unchanged after collision between them. So, the collision of the gas molecules are perfectly elastic in nature, which means that the total energy of the gas particle remains unchanged after collision. Now, what is the seventh assumption? The different molecules of the gas move with different velocities. All the molecules of the gas do not have the same velocities. They have the different velocities. And so, they also have the different kinetic energies. But, average kinetic energy of all the gas molecules is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. That is very important. Now, the different molecules of the gas move different with the different velocities, so they have the different kinetic energies, but the average kinetic energy of the gas molecule is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Therefore, average kinetic energy is directly proportional to absolute temperature. That is very important. Now, let us learn the difference between the ideal gas and real gas. Now, when the scientists Boyle, Charles, Avogadro, Gay-Lussac, when put for the different gas laws, then they have their ideal gas in front of them. That means they consider the gas is ideal. That means they think that this gas, ideal gas, obey all the gas laws at any temperature and pressure range. But that is not always true, because our gases, that is the real gases, only follow the all the gas laws up to some range of temperature and pressure only, and after that they deviates from the laws, and therefore they are called as the real gases. The ideal gas is the imaginary gas, hypothetical gas, which was considered by the scientists, and they think that the ideal gas obey all the gas laws at all the range of temperature and pressure. But there is difference between the ideal gas and real gas. Now this ideal gas, which is not the natural gas, this is the imaginary gas, a gas that obey all the gas laws over entire range of temperature and pressure, is called as the ideal gas. Entire range of temperature and pressure, that ideal gas obey all the gas laws. Such gas is called as the ideal gas. But real gas does not obey gas laws under all the conditions of temperature and pressure. Real gas also obey, but up to definite temperature and pressure they obey the gas laws, like the Charles law, Boyle's law. But after that there is the deviation of these gases when there is the increase in temperature or pressure, and therefore these are the real gases. Or real gases are hydrogen, nitrogen, chlorine, all these, and the ideal gas is the imaginary gas. Now let us see the second difference between the ideal gas and real gas. Now ideal gas is the imaginary gas. Now let us see the second point of difference between the ideal gas and real gas. There are no any interactive forces between ideal gas molecules. That means there is no intermolecular attractive forces are present between the ideal gas molecules. But in real gases, there are intermolecular forces of attractions are not negligible. There are the attractive forces if we pull the gas, real gases, and if we apply the pressure on the gas molecules of the real gases, there are the attractive forces between them. But what the scientists think that about the ideal gas? The ideal gas do not have any interactive forces between them. The third point is the molecular volume is negligibly small as compared to the volume occupied by the gas in the container. As compared to the volume of the container in which gas is filled, the actual volume of the gas is negligible. Of ideal gas is negligible. But the volume of the real gas molecules is not negligible. They have some volume. Though we apply the pressure on the gas molecule, that is the piston does not touches the bottom of the container. There is some space that shows that the real gas molecules have some volume, but which is less as compared to the volume of the container. And next point is that the molecules of the ideal gas strictly obey the Boyle's law and Charles law. So the ideal gas equation PV is equal to nRT. The PV divided by nRT ratio is always 1 in case of the ideal gas equation. But in case of real gases, they obey these gas laws at very low temperature and pressure, and only the low temperature and pressure, and at high temperature and pressure they show the deviations from these laws. So PV divided by nRT ratio is not equal to 1. Now these ideal gas is imaginary gas, but the real gases are the true gases, and they are hydrogen, nitrogen, chlorine, etc. If we plot a graph of pressure versus volume of both of these gases, ideal gas and real gas. Ideal gas graph shows or curve show a smooth, that is the there is always smooth increase in volume as we that is decreases the pressure. There is increase in volume. But in case of the real gases, this is the its curve. That means this is somewhat deviates at higher temperature or higher pressure. Now these are the difference between the real and ideal gases that may be asked into the examination. So if you understand, student, the kinetic theory, kinetic molecular theory of gases and the difference between the ideal gas and real gas, you like, subscribe, and also told the other 11th standard student to like and subscribe this video. Thank you.